Well, hey there, internet lovers. How you doing? Episode 016 of the No Pants Podcast. 016, man, or 16. Do I drive any of you crazy when I say 016? If I do, I want you to know that, first of all, I don't care. Second of all, it's hilarious. And third of all, I just like sounding official with 016. It sounds like some sort of documentation in a warehouse somewhere. Like we're taking these and we're stocking them away. And we'll pull them out like files out of a file cabinet, something like that. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Hope your week's going well. I have been kind of trying to ignore the news today, but I can't because apparently our president said that he wants to have a military parade like the ones they have in China or France, apparently. And I've been laughing at this all day. I can't get over it. It's hilarious. I have so many questions. First of all, how much gold do you think he wants in that parade? Think about it for a second. What if he wants a golden missile truck? Do you think that's beyond the realm of possibility at this point? Because I don't at all. I think that's a very real possibility. Okay, if Trump gets a military parade, let's say that he bypasses all of the monetary restrictions and like all of the bipartisan groaning that's going on because nobody wants this. And let's say somehow it happens. Do you think he will get a golden missile truck? Do you think he will have a truck carrying large missiles made of solid gold? Because it might happen. And if it did, that's absolutely evidence that we're living in a computer simulation. I'm going to have friends named Morpheus and Cypher, and I got to watch out for Cypher, though. He might betray me. It's pretty crazy. A military parade. Dude, Trump wants a military parade. Okay, hold up. Trump wants a military parade. Yo, we've never had one of those, ever, and there might be a reason for it. It's because they're fucking horrible. I can't get over this at all. I feel like we have Scrooge McDuck as our president. Scrooge McDuck is absolutely our president. We elected Scrooge McDuck, and he literally was already rolling around in large piles of money in a warehouse. And then we walked in the door. We're like, hey, Scrooge McDuck, so you're going to be president now. And he's like, but I want to still roll around in money. And they're like, yeah, but you got to run the country. And he's like, what if I play golf 160 times in the first year I'm in office? And they're like, but you still got to run the country. And he's like, well, but can I still roll around in this money? And they're like, well, you got to give it up. And he's like, I don't think that's how it works. I'm still going to roll around in this money. And they're like, but you got to run the country. And then he's like, well, I'm just going to lie about a lot of things all the time. And like 30% of people will still believe me for some reason. And they're like, yeah, well, do you know how to run a country? And he's like, not really. And they're like, well, but you got elected, so you need to learn how. And he's like, but I'm going to fire all the scientists. and they're like, well, you still have to run the country. And he's like, well, what if I take all the experts that are reporting to my cabinets and just fire them? And people are like, well, but they know things, so like maybe not do that. And he's like, I'm gonna do it, And then he's like, also, I want to spend millions of dollars on a military parade. Think of all think of how chill, like anytime you've met a military person, and think of how weird it must be for them. Who's going to come watch that? Like, what's going on? What if he had a military parade and no one showed up to see it? Like, what if he had one and then everyone was just like, I don't think we should watch this or care. He doesn't want to be there. Like, he obviously doesn't want to be there. You just know he doesn't want to do it. Like, you just know he doesn't. I don't know. I think on one hand, he really loves the attention that idiots like myself are giving him. But at the same time, I don't know if he wants to be there still. I saw iewhich 3 years ago, the band iewhich from like the late 90s, like 97, 98. And I saw them at the Moody Theater. And it was a fairly good show. They were opening up for Everclear. It was the most 90s night I've had in a really long time, maybe ever. And they closed with Inside Out, of course, their big radio hit. And during the chorus, somehow the singer and mine's eyes just locked. We just made good eye contact for like a solid 5 seconds. And I just knew he was looking at me, and I was looking back at him. And for some reason, I just got the feeling of just like, dear God, get me out of this place as he played that song. Like, that was the vibe I was getting from his face. And I don't know if I read that right, but that's what it felt like. And I feel like that's how our president is. I feel like we have a president that's just like, dear God, get me out of this as quickly as possible. But until then, he's just like, fuck it. Let's have a military parade. That's the only way that any of this makes sense. But anyway, I digress. Enough politics. Quincy Jones is also in the news a lot today for having a lot of very strong opinions, and that's a guy that I want to hear strong opinions from. I guess technically I'd hear strong opinions from anybody if they kind of like halfway know what they're talking about, but Quincy Jones especially. I feel like you get the opposites now. You get like people that you really don't want to hear from. You also hear from Quincy Jones. I think I would like to hear from Quincy Jones more. I don't know if you've read his autobiography, Q, but it's probably one of the most phenomenal books I've ever read in my entire life. Quincy Jones is just basically talking to you for like 800 pages, and it's phenomenal. I would actually just like to have President Quincy Jones. Could Quincy Jones be the president next? Why didn't Justin Timberlake get Quincy Jones to produce his record instead of just making a garbage record? Why did he do that? Hey, Justin, can you maybe not make a garbage record? Hey, Justin, maybe get Quincy Jones to produce your record, because that would be amazing. I mean, and you only get one life. I mean, dude, what if you die in a plane crash in 3 years and Man of the Woods is the last record you put out? My guest today is Helen Merino. Helen is an incredibly talented, kind, effervescent, just wonderful individual and actress that has been in a slew of plays across this town and a lot of other towns. But since she's lived in Austin, she's been featured in The Crucible, Wolf Hall, Macbeth, Medea, The Belle of Amherst, Designed for Living, Hamlet, Anthem 2001, and other plays like The Eye of God, Soldier Dreams. She does productions at the Zach Theater, Theater East, pretty much anywhere you can catch good theater in this town. She's done it, and she's currently in a play right now called The Seagull, running through the 25th at the Long Center. I am so glad she was able to come on this show and just talk to me a little bit about what she does and acting in general and just movies, inspiration, what got her into this stuff when she was little, because I love hearing those kind of stories, and we go off on some tangents as well. So typically on this podcast, I have musicians as guests, and that being as it is, usually they'll just give me songs to play out the end of the episode with. But today I have an actress friend, and that means I just get to pick whatever song I want, and I'm really stoked about that. So not that I don't like my guest music, I do, that's why I have them on, but I get to just pick a song, kind of feel like a DJ. This is a song from some friends of mine called Buxton, and they put out a record about 2.5 years ago called Half a Native, and this track is called Good As Gone off that record. It's the second track off this record, which is legitimately, without a doubt, one of my favorite records of all time, and I'm just lucky enough to call them my friends as well. I've known these guys for about 15 years. They've been essentially the same lineup of guys for the entire time, and I've gotten to just watch their entire development. Like you do with friends. You just get to watch your friends grow up alongside you. But these guys happen to be infinitely talented musicians. Jason, the guitarist, has just killer guitar tone in this song. My friend Chris plays bass, and it's one of the grooviest bass lines ever. Justin, Austin, Sergio, all of these guys are just incredible musicians, and I love them so much. And if you want to hear more of their music, buxtonmusic.bandcamp.com is the place to go. And you're welcome, actually. I'm going to tell you you're welcome in advance for showing you this band. Repay me in Starburst, maybe some mineral water. Also, one quick reminder before we get to my guest. If you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, if you're on SoundCloud, if you're on YouTube, wherever you are, review us, rate us, like us, retweet us, reshare us, whatever you want to do. Just share the podcast. Do all the things that you do when you want other people to keep doing what they do. Just do those things so I can keep doing this thing and we can keep doing things together. But anyway, without further procrastination, give it up, everybody, for Helen Merino.
It's time for the No Pants Podcast.
No Pants.
No Pants.
Broadcasting from the south of France. We're definitely not in France. I will tell you this. You're listening to the No Pants Podcast. And there I was in Shawshank Prison, listening to the No Pants Podcast. Some look at pants and ask why. I look at pants and ask why not. It is inevitable that we're here today to discuss the No Pants Podcast. I'm Michael Payne, and I listen to the No Pants Podcast. The 1922 World Series brought to you by the No Pants Podcast. Yes, and that's best. Hey, we're going to listen to the No Pants Podcast. I mean, really, the question at hand is if there will be pants or if there will not be pants. But will there be pants or will there not be pants?
Welcome to the No Pants Podcast. Yeah,
This is fine.
this is fine.
I feel fine.
We're fine. Hey, Helen Merino, how you doing?
I'm fine.
We're fine.
I'm looking
This
at
is
you
good.
through the
through the
thingy.
through the arms.
Yeah.
It gives me It gives you Zorro eyes.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, how you doing? We're both we're both respectively have had some long weekends, so we're like slightly sleep deprived, but also, are you caffeinated right now? I'm kind of caffeinated right
No,
now.
I stopped drinking caffeine at 4:00.
So you stop it.
Then I move on to other.
You right, yeah. We switch substances.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I do. I switch over, like at some point you start switching over to the barbiturates,
You make it sound so illegal.
Yeah, I know. Barbiturate is an illegal sounding word.
It is.
It
and
re-
it's
like, it really
got
is.
the B word in it.
Yeah, it does. It has bitch inside of the word.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, to anyone listening, our relationship is actually predicated on caffeine. I used to be Helen's barista here
The
in
cornerstone
town.
of all great relationships.
Yeah, it really is. It was a place downtown that's now a ice cream shop.
It's they sell coffee,
Do they really?
but it's mostly fudge.
That's not as good.
It's
Wait, it's fudge
it's
coffee?
a lot of fudge, and it's basically candy.
Okay,
It's sugar.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Wait, it's sugar coffee?
It's no. Wow. You are going to have to do some editing on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
No, it's like it's gum, it's candy, and then they have coffee for the adults.
Oh, I thought you meant like they mixed in coffee with the the fudge.
No.
I'm like, that's stupid.
That is stupid. No.
Don't like keep them
Well,
separate.
it's stupid, but I'm going to be trying it later tonight.
Yeah. I walked into that place a few months ago. I went and saw John Mulaney at ACL Live, and then I
Oh.
walked over to the place after it had switched over
Yeah.
away from Cafe Ruckus, and I was a little sad.
I was very sad.
little
I've
walking
gone
in
there twice,
Yeah.
but I will go there no more. They were perfectly nice,
Yeah, totally.
but
100%.
and also just to be very coffee snobbish, the
Yeah,
coffee
yeah.
just was not as good.
They for like the week for they gave us like a week notice, right? And
Yeah.
then for that whole week the toy store people would walk over because this toy store bought that
Yeah.
coffee shop out.
Yeah, so I do wish them well because I love those guys.
Yeah, sure. Hooray toys, But like they would walk over and still get coffee from me. And they're like, well, how's your week going? I was like, well, I'm out of a job now. And so it was like a really weird dynamic.
That's weird. That's like the new boyfriend moves in, but you haven't found a new place.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait.
Here's your coffee. I
has
spat
that,
in it.
Wait, when has that ever happened where like a new boyfriend has moved in and you're like, you still live there? That's horrible.
That is horrible. I have lived with somebody just after the breakup,
Okay.
like breaking off an engagement, but he didn't have a place to live.
Yeah. No.
That was, yeah.
That's an awkward.
I did actually go down to visit my family and called him and said, look, if the place had caught fire, there'd be some place for you to stay tonight. So I'm going to stay here and give you some time to leave.
Yeah. You need like a few days.
Yeah.
Tops. How you doing? You're doing a play
I'm
right
very
now?
well, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just tired. I just feel like I've been, dropped down a hole.
Yeah.
But the spirit is very happy.
I like that feeling. I was telling you earlier when I walked in, I'm like sleep deprived but caffeinated, and that's a good place to be. I feel like I enjoy
Yes.
being there. Like I enjoy being like tired because I know I'm being productive, and then like
Yeah.
my brain is in this weird flow state.
That is great.
Yeah.
Flow is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not actually quite there yet.
No.
It's funny. I don't know if I should say this. This is the thing that's awkward.
Yeah.
Is as soon as I start talking, it's like I have the lasso of truth on me. And I might say things that are inappropriate if I'm
That's
trying
good.
to pitch a show.
Yeah.
But for me, I am now at the awkward phase where all the decisions have been made about the character, but I still feel very much like I'm having to exert myself to drive it.
Right? Really?
So yeah, it's not hitting flow yet.
Oh no.
It apparently looks fine from the outside. I'm told it looks good
Right.
on the outside.
Well, you're your worst.
Yeah, I agree. I've been around long enough to know, like, I'm not freaking out. Like, I feel like, oh, it's solid. I
Right.
just am not to the point where I can sort of relax and enjoy
Yeah,
it.
totally. It takes a while. I feel like it happens that way with songs too, especially when you're learning songs. And there's a point there's a point that you can play a song in your sleep, and that's when it's fun because like
That's
you can
good.
get as drunk as you want and still be good.
That's your yardstick.
That's the good place. But until then, it's a deal, especially performing. There's a lot of parallels I feel like between music and
totally.
and the stage and like getting to a comfortable spot. May not happen. Does it happen on opening night? Takes a few
usually,
nights?
I'm embarrassed to say, but a lot of times it does happen when there are people in the audience putting that extra
That
pressure on your.
Yeah.
But it also closes the. It feels like it closes the lid on a box. Like you kind of have a reality starting to assert itself.
Yeah.
But them entering sort of snaps it shut, and then the thing has four walls.
Yeah.
So. I'm holding a lot of. They have no clue.
Yeah.
But I'm pinning
sure.
a lot of my hopes on them.
like I need you to be here.
But not the last show, but a couple of shows ago, I did Medea. I didn't play Medea. I played the chorus in Medea. It was so fun. And I all I remember is just enjoying it and it being very liberating and freeing and beautiful. And I would have done it for years and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But on paper, I remember that I did not feel like I knew what the hell I was doing until the night, like previews, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm now sane and mature enough, sorry, to remember the on paper part and not freak out now and go down a rabbit hole and be like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
There is that little niggling thing that's like, maybe this is the one time it's not fun.
It's always that one time. Is this the time? Is this the time where it's not
Is this
really
the time
fun?
where I
Is
find
this
out?
the time where a hole forms in the middle of the stage and I fall through it and I just keep going?
Well, it's so funny because one of my favorite things, one of my favorite things on stage is listening. Like it's just the best.
Yeah.
I like listening better than I love talking.
Yeah.
But I love listening, and I have a much younger actress in the show. She's wonderful, and she was talking about listening.
Right.
And after she left, I realized, I haven't listened to anybody today.
Wait, what did she say?
I was just mortified. I was like, yeah, maybe that's why you're not experiencing it.
Right.
Maybe you need to drop in a second.
Yeah.
And stop trying to hit marks.
Yeah.
So-
That seems like the most challenging thing for acting. I've never acted a day in my life, but I was thinking about this the other day, how you have to listen to somebody and then like act as if that's real life.
It's so good though.
Yeah.
It's so, this is going to sound really turdy. It is the closest thing to feeling like falling in love.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Oh
so.
my God.
It's connection. It's being seen.
Yeah.
Which is what falling in love is.
Right.
It's about being seen.
Right.
And so those moments where you actually listen and are being listened to.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
It's such a freaking wonderful thing and hard thing to get away from.
Yeah, and to make it seem, and to actors, you guys blow my mind because you're able
Some
to
of us
like
suck though. I've sucked before.
like, just the fact like you have to do that, and also you can't seem like you're a person doing that. You're there.
No,
You're
but
in
that's
that
what
place.
makes it not seem like you're doing things.
Right.
It's listening and being listened to. This
Yeah.
sounds so simple.
No, it's
but
beautiful.
it's great, and it's what makes me have a hard time taking breaks.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, no, please don't take breaks.
I did take a break for a while.
How long have you done this for?
A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's throw some years out there. Let's throw it out there.
Well, let's see. I don't know, 35
Oh my
years?
God, that's awesome.
I didn't want to say numbers because then math starts to happen.
Oh yeah.
Well, I decided I want to be an actor before I started acting. Like, I think I was like 11,
Okay.
which is stupid when
What
you think
was
about it.
the first
I
thing you
let
saw?
an 11-year-old choose my life path. What an idiot.
No.
But I also wanted to be a dentist at the time.
Yeah.
But that didn't take.
It would have been tough to swing a dental acting career. So it's good that you got down to 2 or just narrowed it down to 1 rather.
Sort of.
What did you see? Like, what did you see that made you want to do that?
It wasn't one thing. It was a cluster of things. I have very good older siblings. I'm the youngest of a giant family.
Okay.
So I'm 6 of 7.
Okay.
And one of my my second oldest sister was taking a Shakespeare class, and she was not one of those older sisters that didn't want her younger sisters around. She sort of brought us to things.
Okay.
And so she was watching a production of, she had to see Twelfth Night, Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, a BBC put it together version. So it was on TV. It wasn't even live. And I fell in love with that.
Okay.
I think that was the first thing I ever wanted to do. And then they were like Masterpiece Theaters, I think. It was really all British. I mean, honestly, it's awesome. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's great because usually the story is like, I saw Charles Bronson, or like I saw like Goldie Hawn. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But
although I do think one of my early influences was SCTV.
Oh my God.
I saw it for the first time. It came out on DVD, I guess about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had it and put it on, and I noticed that my body was like all of a sudden physically, like I was engaging with the TV in a way that was different than I usually watch TV. And I realized, oh, this is Pavlovian. This is the way you used to watch it when you were a kid. And it was because they were really nuanced performances, but they were cranked up just a little too high for comedy.
Now,
do you even know what I'm talking about? You don't, because you're young.
I'm about to, because I'm like, SCTV,
oh, you're
what
making
is that?
me hurt.
Oh,
so
no,
SCTV.
It was just an aside. I talked to somebody the other day who didn't remember 9/11. So that was, so I feel you. Like I'm there. Like
somebody one of the guys in the cast was talking about how The Lion King was the first movie he ever saw as a child. I was like, oh really?
Oh, gotcha.
So I brought the child that I was nannying at the time. Turd. So SCTV was a comedy sketch show that was the most brilliant, and it was basically where Eugene Levy and Rick Moranis and Catherine O'Hara and Joe Flaherty, John Candy, all those people came from.
Oh my God! Wait, Rick Moranis.
Oh my God. Dave Thomas.
That's funny because I've talked about Rick Moranis a lot on this podcast for some reason.
Interesting.
So it's a common theme. Rick Moranis is just a common theme. Hopefully, I can have him on sometime.
Oh,
that's insane.
You really need to see it, and you need to see it in its full. It was a 90-minute show, and they would have. It was about this really crappy little, sad little station that it was.
So it was a sketch, but it was based around a premise.
Yeah, it was based around a premise, and there would usually be one overarching I don't know, some A-word storyline through the 90 minutes. Oh my God.
That's cool. When was this? Like
this is like the early 80s, I think.
Okay. All right.
Again, showing that I'm quite old.
Man. Monty Python. Did you get on with Monty Python?
I did, but it was later. It was like my teens.
That's more slapstick, I guess.
I love it, but I don't know that would be the SCTV thing, because they were really good performances, and they would do impersonations of people who, like, you don't do impersonations of, like Jose Ferrer and stuff. I remember I just saw somebody talking about this. And they would just everything was cranked up just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
So it was nuanced, but you would see the nuance.
Yeah. Well,
so I think that was a little bit of a.
Again, there's really good parallels between that and music too. A lot of recordings are like that.
Really?
A lot of recordings, when you take something, you make it a little louder than usual. It sounds really good. Especially with like old school recording.
Is that why we're crowding the mic?
Yeah. No, yeah. We're going with the Frasier effect. I'm Niles Crane. But yeah, I that's cool. I'm gonna need to look this up.
Yes. So it was a lot of British people and Canadians, I guess.
Why are Canadians so much funnier than we are?
I don't know.
They just are. Like,
it's a different kind of funny.
Yeah, it really is. But it's. I mean, overall, it's way funnier than us. It's like how British people.
I don't know. Peter Jennings, I think, was Canadian.
Really?
He's not funny.
He was kind of. I could see him being funny at a dinner party. Oh, I bet Peter Jennings was a fucking wicked hang. Like, I bet Peter Jennings rocked to have a dinner party with. Peter Jennings? Are you kidding me?
All right, I'll go with it. He's Canadian.
Yeah, you got it. You look at him. The guy knows his wine. The guy knew his wine. You look at Peter Jennings. He knew his wine. He just did. I don't know. For some reason, I always looked at Peter Jennings. Maybe that's why I like interviewing people a lot, because I was really into Peter Jennings. I don't know. I just really
no idea that this was going to bring up
Peter Jennings. I
didn't realize that was your passion spot.
I didn't either until just now. But like, if you think about it, when did he pass? It was like 10 years ago.
I don't know. I think I didn't know he'd passed.
Really?
I just thought he retired.
Oh my God, Peter Jennings died like 7 years ago.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Yeah.
John Mahoney died.
Yeah.
Speaking of Frasier.
Yeah,
the
he
dad.
did.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
love him.
He was old back when that show was on, right? I mean, he was pretty.
You think
or
he's
did,
old?
Or did they make him look older?
No, I think I think our definition of old has changed because I was
yeah.
recently watching it and I was like, oh, I've dated men that age. My ex-boyfriend, I think, is a few years older than him on this.
He was great. He was a great
He was.
sitcom dad. Peter Boyle was amazing. Everybody Loves Raymond. I almost watched it.
I forgot
just
he was on
because-
that. I only
Yeah.
think of Peter Boyle from his pre-Raymond stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
that great episode of X-Files.
Oh my God.
He's great.
Oh my God. I haven't seen that literally since it came out.
I think he won an Emmy for that one.
He probably did. I wouldn't be surprised. It's it's funny being like a young age when you see a sitcom and then you see an older actor on
Yes.
a sitcom
Oh,
and then
God.
you never realize that they had a whole career
Oh, yeah, that is true.
ahead of whatever
Ahead
you're
of behind.
you're getting
Yeah,
them
yeah.
at the but they had, decades of shit that they did,
Well, it's kind of, I don't know if it's a nice thing or a sad thing. I guess this is a glass is half full or empty thing. But sometimes I was just discussing the movie Judgment at Nuremberg with somebody, which is one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
And William Shatner has a tiny role in it. And he's perfectly good in it.
Okay.
I'm not dissing William Shatner, but he's sort of professionally William Shatner,
Yeah.
even when he's great.
Rescue 911.
I'm just saying, in this, he's like an actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And-
What is this called?
Judgment at Nuremberg. It's one of the best movies you'll ever see.
It's about the
Congratulations.
Nuremberg trials?
Yes. Spencer Tracy and, Maximilian Schell? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Burt Lancaster. And,
I feel like that might be a curse of a very prolific career.
Yes.
Is at some point you become a caricature of yourself.
this is the thing, that glass half full or empty. It's
Yeah.
like it's because he's successful
Yeah.
that he's a bit of that his kind of erased.
It's kind of weird.
Although really most of his career he has been that William Shatner voice.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was so serious. Do you remember Rescue 911?
I remember it's being on. I never watched
You
it.
never watched it.
No.
So this was a thing.
That sounded so condescending. I
No,
never
well,
watched
no,
it,
okay,
young man.
If you were an adult during that period, you shouldn't have watched that show.
I was
but
not
if you
an
were,
adult.
What? Or were you?
I
You were a
was-
young adult?
I was a young adult.
Okay, we were young.
I was
okay.
able to vote. I think.
You were 2 years older than me during that time period. We'll say that. I was like, well, here's the deal. I was like 7 when that show was in its prime.
Okay, I'll buy that.
And that was like Tuesday night. You had a Red Baron pizza. You watched Rescue 911. That's what happened in my house. And I remember it was really good for if you were a young child and you like idolized like first responders. Like you just thought like paramedics and firemen and cops were just like the shit, which they are. But like you know, at that young age, and he was the perfect like, I'm William Shatner.
Yeah.
And he's like walking amongst the ambulances that are like on the sound stage, and he's like in Rapid City, Iowa, and like they do the. And I watched an episode the other day. I just pulled it up on YouTube, and he's so goddamn serious, and it's like the perfect William Shatner thing. It's incredible. You go back, and if you're just bored one day, just like look at an episode of Rescue 911 because like because it's like William Shatner, like insanely serious. And then you have the reenactments of these like emergency situations, which is always like,
I think I may have auditioned for that show.
shut up. Are you serious?
No, I think I did.
Oh my God.
I think I did. And then I remember coming out and saying to my friend, never let me do that again. It was so humiliating. It was in some hotel,
Yeah.
which seems so
You do
shifty.
You do
Yeah.
auditions in hotels and
No,
stuff?
I mean, not since then.
The last one was the first one of the last one.
It was legit.
You auditioned for Rescue 911?
I
That
did.
blows my mind.
I think I was like trying to flag down a passing car.
Yeah.
Because like something had happened to my boyfriend.
Okay.
An
That was the
agent
episode you were auditioning for. That's not how you got into the audition. I was trying to flag down my
Yeah.
boyfriend, walked into an audition for Rescue 911. Mistakenly, you know.
No.
Yeah,
no.
that's good.
And that's that was before I was like represented by anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know how I wanted. I don't have honestly no remember. I don't remember any water. How that happened.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's It really is a curse. I see Morgan. That's happening to Morgan Freeman now.
See, that's really sad to me because
Right.
he has a lot of stuff to be proud of.
Yeah, he does, and I think he still is. But
Yeah.
he's just backing up the Brinks truck. You know, at a certain point,
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah.
I'm gonna retire. These last 10 years are gonna be good.
How old is he?
I don't know. I saw him. He was on a Super Bowl commercial last night,
Was he?
and he's
the Super Bowl.
It's like he's hitting that golden age of.
Yeah.
He's actually does look like God now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Bruce Almighty, he played God. Now he actually does look.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like-
Absolutely.
He's getting up there, but I think people just know him for the voice, especially probably a lot of younger people.
Yeah.
They just know him for the voice. They're like, oh, Morgan Freeman's the voice guy. Like, no, dude, he did fucking Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Have you seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to somebody that hasn't seen Shawshank Redemption?
Okay, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Have you not seen
I've not seen it.
Shut up.
No, I know. And my brother I have this conversation, I'm sorry, with my brother 3 times a year. Well, it did. The brother changes. Like it'll be a different brother.
Okay.
Sometimes it's my brother Steven. Sometimes it's Paul.
Gotcha.
Chris leaves me alone.
Okay.
I don't know if Chris has seen Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I get that and a very high pitched voice.
Wait, I mean, they check in.
Yeah.
They just send you a text. Hey, so have
I'm
you seen
just
it yet?
wondering.
Have you joined us? There's
It's not that I don't want. This is a thing. This is why I don't watch movies.
Yeah.
It's humiliating.
Why not?
I had an entire conversation with Maggie Gyllenhaal. I had no clue who she was.
Yeah.
I thought she was a customer from my coffee shop,
Yeah.
and that's why she looked familiar.
Wait, where did you have a conversation?
This is in Brooklyn.
Okay, this wasn't at mine.
No, this is at
Okay.
Tea Lounge in Brooklyn.
Okay, because if Maggie Gyllenhaal was in my coffee shop and you didn't introduce me, I would have been like, what's going on there?
Yeah, no.
A bunch of people walked into that coffee shop, though.
Yeah, I bet. And that, yeah.
One day you had missed Kurt Russell. A bit of
Oh,
context
yeah,
to
this
anyone
is-
listening.
oh, yeah.
Helen was a very a loyal window patron of ours. We had a window set up at my coffee shop, and she would always come up to her window. She also walks dogs.
I do.
And she would walk up with her brood of
Yeah.
like 6 adorable dogs, and we'd give her coffee, and then she'd be on her merry way. And one day you did that, and you missed Kurt Russell by like 10 minutes.
Wow.
So like if you were there, and then Kurt Russell like stumbled by like 10 minutes later.
and he
it was
said,
really sad.
was Helen Merino just here?
Yeah, he was looking for Toy Joy. He was looking
Yeah.
for toys.
Oh, yeah.
But you wait. So you don't watch movies? You
I mean to.
well, you
this
do.
is the thing.
You have Judgment at Nuremberg. What are you talking about?
God, that movie's so good.
Okay, so you do watch movies.
Yeah, but like Shawshank, I've been meaning to see that, air quotes.
Oh, like you don't
for like
actively, like-
5 years.
Gotcha.
7 years, 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been out a long time.
Okay.
So there's that. And I think I saw The Godfather for the first time this decade.
That's
I mean,
okay.
it was-
I saw. Is The Godfather the one with Pacino?
Oh, wow. Okay, now I feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the Pacino's The Godfather? Say hello to my little friend.
No, that is Scarface.
Is that Wait, okay. Scarface. I just saw like a year ago.
Okay, it's not
So,
Scarface.
yeah, it's
No,
okay.
The Godfather is Marlon Brando.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Duh.
Yeah,
I
but
have-
that's one of those performances that if you see too late in life, it's too late.
Really?
Because no, it's a little bit the Shatner thing. Like I saw it and I thought he just sounds like someone doing a Marlon Brando impersonation. It's
my
like
God.
this is the source of all those
Yeah.
impersonations.
Yeah. That's
It's
so
like
true.
if you see Clint Eastwood in something now.
Yeah.
He just sounds like somebody in a Clint Eastwood mask doing a Clint Eastwood impersonation.
He-
I spend
he
the
does.
first 10 seconds getting the giggles out.
He does. Yeah. You really have to. He was excellent in Gran Torino, though.
No, I'm not. I like Clint
Yeah,
Eastwood,
yeah.
but I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
But, like,
he's
I'm-
been spoofed so much.
I'm just saying, like that's one of his like older. A lot of times, a lot of actors will do something in the twilight of their career where it's like it will be that caricature thing. But like, man, Gran Torino was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
no, he's
90% of what he does now is just like, well, I guess a lot of
Actually, I
it's
don't
yelling
know.
at a chair.
Yeah,
like yelling at empty chairs, but at political
such a-
conventions.
oh,
But yeah, oh man, he went off the deep end.
you clearly know stuff I don't know.
He was at the Republican National Convention. I think.
Really?
I want to say 2012. He had an empty chair with him on stage, and it was one of the Democratic figureheads. I'm not sure who it was, but it's like he kept talking to the chair as if that person was there and they should answer for like his questions that he had or something
Wow.
like that. So and then he kept being like, "You're not here to answer for that, are you?" or something like that.
Wow.
It was very
I've
bizarre.
been to a few town hall meetings this year that
Really?
have been like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, like they'll have an effigy of the the absent representative.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we talking state or national?
State, sometimes federal. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they'll be on break, and they're supposed to have the meetings and talk to us and find out what their constituents want.
Gotcha.
And they won't show up because they're scared of us. And so, yeah, they've done that. It's weird. I'm not saying that I would do it, but it felt a little uncomfortable, like I was seeing something I wasn't supposed to.
Okay,
be
like
seeing.
an effigy, like the one that you
Like
would
they'll
straight
have a
up
cut up,
burn.
a cutout. No.
Okay, it's
no.
not like a rag doll. They don't have a rag doll.
No, they'll have like a cutout. I can't believe that this is our conversation has come here, but they'll have like a little cutout of like one of our senators or something.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is how this goes. We just let it rip.
All right.
I don't have parameters. I like doing this.
Okay.
I like bringing people on that do specific things, and then I don't have to grill them about that one thing.
Okay.
Like a lot of interviews, like they just grill you about the thing you do.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I
Yeah.
want to know. I want to know about the thing you do, but also I just kind of want to know your thoughts in general about
Sweet.
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's weird. I've never been to a town hall meeting.
Honestly, I wish I could say that I've been this interested, but it took the last year for me to. I've never been to a town hall meeting.
Yeah.
I've always been sort of lazy.
You're like, I want to act like I'm actually civic, but I'm not.
No, I mean, I think I will be from now on till I die.
Sure.
I think the needle's in, but
Kinda
I
have
just,
to.
yeah,
Kinda have to
yeah.
now.
I've kind of learned my lesson here.
Yeah, that's a thing. Man, you're supposed to do all that, but also like you gotta have a life. It's weird.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just in general, like that's a hard thing to do.
Well, no, but you can engage a little. I mean,
You
it's just
can.
it's just
You can.
choosing your. I have to say though, I put myself in a fit of like resistance, passion, or whatever, on way too many like lists.
Yeah.
I'm getting texts like every 20 minutes.
Oh wow.
That's about like the bees dying or like
Yeah, no-
somebody, Coca-Cola doing something, and I'm starting to feel a little bit like, dude,
Yeah.
you got to sift these a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
The
Because I'm
people,
starting to tune you out.
I gotta ignore the clipboard people on the street. I just
Oh,
gotta do it.
the chuggers?
Yeah, totally. You
Yeah.
know, my answer is always like I've signed this already, or like I already, just not the
Yeah,
place.
I have to say, I got very immune to them because they're all over the place in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
And yeah.
I would imagine every street corner in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an odd thing. Like, I mean, you have a clipboard and a T-shirt, but I'm not going to give you my personal information.
Yeah. It's like a membership card at a store.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get your phone number? No, because I'm at CVS. It's 2 a.m. I need milk and condoms. That's all I need right now. Like, I am
There's
not
a window
giving you-
into your world.
Yeah. No, just
I would
really-
need condoms, but I want to have calcium too.
Also, afterwards, maybe I'll need some cereal. So, and you're not getting my email address
No.
for that.
But I'm also like really like I'm not proud of this, but I have a little bit of a guilty streak left over from my Catholicism,
Yeah.
and so I always feel bad.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm getting better.
Save stuff. It's a natural inclination.
No, I mean I feel literally bad about the person. Like I don't like this is so humiliating. I like at Costco when they're
Yeah.
having like giving out freebies.
Oh, you're talking about the actual like people
the
in line. I
human
thought you were
on the
back to
street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I can't deal with like sometimes I'm like it's a
You can't deal
big
with the
step
rejection.
forward.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a big step forward for me to take a sample at Costco and not purchase the thing that they're
Yeah.
sampling.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just took food from them.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game, Helen. Calm down. They don't expect every person to take a bite and buy.
They don't. I just am with the samples. If we're talking samples, if we're talking grocery store samples, I'm just enthusiastic about whatever they're giving me. Like, and a lot of times I'm legitimately enthusiastic about what you're giving me because you're giving me free food.
Oh,
Or,
yes.
Like in a lot of HEBs now, they just give you wine and beer. A lot of beer and wine.
Oh,
tastings.
Central Market.
it's fantastic.
I've gotten a little hammered at Central
Yeah,
Market
a little bit.
around the holidays.
Yeah. Hey, let's take some wine shots with Sam at the at the wine counter.
They're
there.
good people.
Yeah, they really are.
They're my new baristas.
You're, the HEBs now are crazy. They'll have like demos where it's like people cooking steaks.
Yeah.
With like they got little headsets on. They're like Gordon
Oh, no, I've
Ramsay's.
not seen that.
There's like speaker systems.
You go to
They're
a
like,
nicer HEB.
Well, the one on Mueller has them sometimes, but a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of
Mueller's Fancy
it's
Pants. That's a
fantastic.
great one.
Oh yeah, the beer selection there is like you're walking into a Portlandia sketch. You're just like, this is too, it's too much shit. But yeah, they'll do a whole thing. They'll Gordon Ramsay the shit out of your Sunday afternoon. You're just like, this is how you'd make a beef Wellington. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't need to ever know how to do that.
But thanks.
Yeah, thanks. The coffee shop thing is just it's weird. I tried to explain to somebody I was with when I walked into that candy store when it turned into a candy store, and I was a little dampered my evening. It was just a little sad, and they didn't really understand like the thing that you do when you're a barista is like you talk to like maybe if you work regularly, you talk to like 30 people of the same people every day for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have this thing where you build this gradual relationship with somebody and you gain this, you steadily gain, and as a customer too. And if you have like a regular barista or a bartender, they're also kind of your therapist in a little ways, but also if you enjoy your job like I do with that stuff, it's like you love it. You love actually, I think it actually paved my way into doing this.
That's so funny. I was a barista for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I didn't make the money that justified my staying with it for 4 years, but it was so satisfying.
It really
personally.
It's a satisfying. Yeah. Anytime you get to take care of somebody, you get to make them a drink. It's so
funny. People, because they're coming to see you every day, and it's like their happy moment. I think a lot of times people don't have as many. What's the word? Not boundaries. Like they don't have a lot of walls up for some reason. I don't understand what that is. But people would tell me stuff that I'm sure they weren't telling their spouses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's weird. And also, it's weird with coffee, too, because you're not getting people drunk.
No.
It's actually the reverse.
Yeah.
You're a reverse bartender.
Yeah.
You're making people more coherent.
Yeah.
Which is like, you're just like, whoa, dude, you're more coherent right now.
And you're still giving this up.
And you're talking about, I would have a dude that would come into Ruckus. He was like a 3-time divorcee. I think he was on his 3rd divorce, and just felt for the dude. Because I was just like, man, 1, will tear anybody to shreds, and 3, you're just like, whoa. And that was his time to just kind of unload. And so you just kind of are like, man, but you build this like very close, unguarded thing with people.
And sometimes it goes across, not just across the counter, but client to client, because you wind up talking to the other people who wind up talking to your baristas.
Right.
I mean, I didn't get it as much at Ruckus. I got a little bit at Ruckus because I was a window patron.
Yeah.
I was on the outside.
Like you're at the Masters. Like you're a patron.
But my Brooklyn one, we would like the clients all knew each other. I'd find myself like at dinner with
It's a great place.
Yeah.
The history of coffee shops are crazy because those things went back to the fucking like Middle Ages. And they would outlaw coffee.
Because people would sit around talking about the news and stuff like that.
And so they would have bars and shit for a long time. And you get drunk and you get incoherent, incapacitated. You don't give a shit about anything. Mm-hmm. But then you start drinking coffee with people and you're like, oh, wait, government's totally fucking us right now. Yeah, the king and queen. Oh, they're literally eating cream cheese out of a bowl. I ate dog shit last night for dinner. And the king and queen are eating cream cheese out of a bowl. Like, oh, this isn't cool. Man, what is this stuff in this cup? Is this coffee? This is good shit. We should probably have more of this. And it's just kept on going from there. And so they made it illegal. But like that was the whole history of it.
And it's so funny because I'm actually it's like I'm looking for a boyfriend. I'm looking for a coffee shop. Ever since you guys broke up,
it's
like,
a thing. Yeah.
I feel a little untethered.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll be
You're
okay.
like, I'm fine. It's fine.
It's
I'm
okay.
Fine.
I got
it's
a dog.
Okay. I'm fine.
I got a cat.
I'm fine. It's all right. I feel the same way.
But I harvested your coffee shop. Like I got all kinds of stuff out of it.
Oh yeah.
I got a roommate.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a dog sitter out of
Wait,
you.
who's your roommate?
Well, no, my roommate now is a different person because Becky moved to New York.
Wait, she was living here for a little bit?
Becky lived with me.
Man.
She was a great roommate.
I would have loved to have her on this. I might still have her on this sometime.
She might,
if I run into her somewhere.
Yeah.
I do Skype ones. If I have to. But I would like, she's got to be an in-person one.
Yeah. Well, she'll be here again.
Will she?
Well, to visit.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Shout out to Becky if she's listening. She
Hi,
might listen.
Becky.
They might listen. I think they're going to listen because you're on this episode.
Oh, gosh.
I'm drawing in new listeners. I'm actually just using you to draw in new listeners.
Yes, because of my wide fan base.
But it's a thing. Fortunately for social media, I was able to keep up with a lot of my regulars.
Yeah.
So there was a guy named Tom that I would talk to every single day, and he was an architect in the ACL building right there. His office is just the coolest dude ever. Coolest dude. I got to have him on sometime because I would just talk to him about architecture. I was just like, dude, you're a scientist with walls. Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
I have to
what?
say,
That blows my
architects are impressive to me.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure I
crazy.
completely understand what they do. I mean,
I
to me,
don't.
it's all
I have no idea
Mr.
what
Brady.
they- yeah.
But So I actually remember sitting next to an architect at a wedding and grilling him like he was
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to marry my daughter.
Yeah.
And
Or you were wanting him to marry
no,
your
no,
daughter.
yeah. I was just like, So what do you do?
So you
Yeah.
want to marry my daughter, maybe?
I don't have a daughter.
Oh, okay. Well, just make one up.
Yeah.
They're so cool that you make up a daughter.
Well, I just meant like I hope I wasn't like bothering him because like the
sure.
whole evening I was like making him tell me about his job and his life and stuff.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was basically doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what's your schedule like? What do you do on Tuesday mornings? What's exactly Tuesday mornings? Weddings are so crazy.
I don't always like them.
You didn't always like weddings?
I think I went through not for any like sad reason. I just think there was a point where I couldn't deal with that much fuss.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit allergic to fuss.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't as about them when I was younger, a little more socially awkward.
It was a little bit of
It's a little
social anxiety.
bit of a task when you're
Agreed.
younger and you're not all about socialization, but then you get older and you're just like, oh, this is like a day where like everybody's just about love and there's booze and free food.
Yeah. The last one I went to was
Cool, you know?
wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew no one there except for the bride.
Oh, it's great. If
Yeah.
you get, I have no qualms about you being invited to a wedding solo. Like I'll solo dolo
Oh,
the
it's
shit out of that shit. You know?
It was so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's, there was alcohol, but I feel even dry, it would have been, she had good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My youngest stepbrother just got married
Aw,
to a
mazel tov.
lovely, there you go, a lovely Egyptian girl. So the opposite of Mazel Tov. But man, Egyptians get down. They get down.
Really?
It's great.
I don't know. I'm
It was
Mexican
great.
Italian.
Oh, that's true. I've
Yeah.
been to a couple Italian weddings.
We have good weddings.
Yeah. Is that your heritage? Mexican?
Yeah.
Italian.
My dad was full on Mexican. Mom was full on Italian.
Damn,
As
y'all-
far as we know, although I'm starting to think I should do a 23andMe because
Yeah.
I've of the 7 kids, 5 of them have my coloring, which is
Okay.
for people who are listening. I'm a redhead with fair skin and
There you go.
hazel eyes.
Yeah.
Nothing about me screams Latina.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Isn't like Louis C.K. like half Mexican or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. He's red hair.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not even from the north of Italy on my mom's side. We're from the south.
Really?
The side that, like, if we swam well, we could get to Morocco. So clearly somebody moved around.
Yeah.
Somebody had to be from like the part that bumped up against.
So did the Mexican side go to Italy, or did the Italian side
So
come? How did that work?
mom, they all came to America.
Okay.
So yeah, mom was born. My parents were both born in the United States. My
Gotcha.
grandparents, not all, were born in the United States.
Okay.
One, I think, was.
Gotcha.
The rest were brought over on boats. Well, not the Mexicans.
Okay.
They just
Yeah.
Walked
There's
across.
no boats needed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the Rio Grande.
yeah.
Maybe they carried a boat. They just made it very difficult for themselves. They're just like, we're going to carry this boat across the border.
Oh no, I don't want to make up stories about my grandma. I was going to make up some great story about her coming in already pregnant, and then I thought, you
There
don't
you
know
go.
that that's true.
I have weird stories about my grandparents that I don't
Mm-hmm.
make up. I think I told you this once. My great grandfather was in the Dalton gang. Like
What?
Yeah, he was the Dalton. Like
That's the Dalton.
I'm a Dalton. I'm a dueling Dalton. Like the Eagles wrote a song about him. And stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool.
But it makes sense. I read a lot about their history and like how they were. And Bob Dalton was like, I think he was our grandfather. It was like Bob and Gat, and there's one more. And I believe Bob was our grandfather, and he was all about. And it's so funny because I would be reading the Wikipedia page, and he's like, well, it'd be like Bob Dalton was really into having like very shiny, flashy guns, and he wanted everybody to know that he had the best like pistols. Like apparently he just went all out on his pistols, and he was like, I need a couple of ivory handled pistols. They need to be this, blah blah. And he was like super. I was like, that makes sense, because if I was a cowboy, I would absolutely be like, I need to have the best shit. Give me the best. Give me the best pistols, or something like that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird.
So fine taste is inherited.
With firearms
Firearms.
used to rob old banks. Yeah, I guess so. Like I just always thought like I would have to have some pretty kick-ass pistols.
Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Mine would be the one that smelled like cats.
Your
The
gun.
one- it's like, are you ever going to clean that thing? Oh, you clean guns?
Your gun smells like cats.
Gun smells like a cat, my friend.
That's great. Yeah, they got fucked up in Coffeyville, Kansas. That's how they died, right? So they tried to rob. They ran around with Jesse James for a little bit, and then they apparently went with some other dudes to Coffeyville, Kansas, and they tried to rob both banks. Apparently, Coffeyville had 2 banks, and they were like, "We're going to try to rob both of them at noon." In the middle of the day, and so everybody in the town was just like,
Really,
nah.
they needed to put that on a piece of paper and see how that worked.
Yeah.
Somebody needed to sit down with some sort of spreadsheet.
Yeah, they needed like a Danny Ocean to sit down and run some logistics and be like, "Hey guys,
This
listen,
isn't going to work, guys.
I've worked the Bellagio a few times. Terry Benedict is no one to fuck with. I got past Terry Benedict. Maybe we should look at the ins and outs of this." But like they robbed 2 banks, almost got away with it.
Wow.
And then decided to meet in the middle of town, and everybody in the town had guns because it's the Old West.
Wild West.
So they were all just like, nah. And then they just shot all of them, like just fucked them up in the middle of town. And then like we're so happy that they got the Dalton gang that they like took pictures with their bodies and shit like that. Oh yeah, totally. People were like morbid as shit back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah, they were.
It was crazy. But thankfully, I think, thankfully they had already procreated. Before that happened, or I wouldn't be here. Pulling Butterfly. So yeah, that's weird.
Andrew.
Yeah, it's really strange. I'm glad I'm not a bank robber.
Right.
But it explains why I've always wanted to be in a heist. You know, it explains why I will watch Ocean's 11 literally any chance I get.
But there are a lot of people who want to be in heists that aren't last name Dalton.
That's true. That's very true.
Sorry,
That's
I didn't mean to
can't
stick a
play.
pin in
No,
that.
it's okay.
I should have just let it go.
You gotta call me.
I'm
You gotta call
so
me.
discourteous. But
Look, friendship's about calling each other in your bullshit. Okay, you can do that. It's all right.
I got no story like that.
Really?
Great grandpa was he made women's lingerie.
That's a good story. What are you talking about?
They didn't call it lingerie. They call it what? They call it?
Unmentionables.
No, they didn't even. No, it was like your bridal.
Brasseries?
No, it's like your wedding, like your trousseau or something like that. I don't know what it was.
Trousseau.
Yeah.
What?
You can mention lingerie. That's a dirty word.
Oh, it was, huh?
Yeah.
Man, people were so proper back then.
Yeah, except that they weren't.
They weren't.
They were on paper.
They weren't on the outside. They were on the outside.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder? Okay, I think about this all the time. Let's kind of switch gears. Let me throw a philosophical question at you.
Oh, good. I
think about this a lot. And I think about, I'm glad you brought that up because...
Lingerie?
No, just like social norms.
Okay.
And how I feel like maybe, do you ever wonder, I'm going to try to articulate this right. Do you ever wonder that some of the stuff that we did back in the day, maybe we should still do? Like, okay, and let me preface this with like, okay, leave the rampant misogyny and the racism.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and, we could scrape that off the cutting board. Yeah, let's take all this shit. But like sometimes, okay, for example, sometimes I watch Mad Men and I'm like, oh man, they're really misogynist and very racist,
Yes.
Yeah, but also they were having martini lunches. I was like, why don't we keep the martini? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what this is like? This is like you could still have a martini lunch.
Yeah, but like it's not a socially acceptable thing.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But
yeah.
It's not worth it.
I always liked the fact that everyone wore the hats. I always liked that. I was like, that's a very,
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's so funny. I was watching, as I always do every year, I was watching White Christmas, which is very white. But they don't call it White Christmas for nothing.
Literally white, yeah.
But I really love that movie. And at one point, they're like going to some nightclub.
Yeah, whiter than a Mumford & Sons concert. Just like, cool, man. Yeah.
It's like a butter sandwich. but they're at this nightclub where people are like dancing and there's a live combo and they're all eating steak.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think somewhere in my, like I know it, but somewhere in my brain I thought at some point that was going to come up. It's like, no, it's not coming up for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that way when I look at, and tell me how you think about, what do you feel about this? What do you feel about when you watch an old movie and everybody, like when a lady joins the table, all the men's, like everybody at the table would like stand up or sit down. What do you
I think that would make me uncomfortable.
Would it? Yeah.
Not in a pissy way,
Yeah.
although I understand if somebody felt pissy about it, but it would be more like, oh God, I can't take this.
That was a very ceremonial thing that we did.
I know.
Like as a
but
society.
it's
it was
one
a
of those,
very,
but even like the nightclub, which I love, and I'm sorry to say goodbye to. I mean, it's just sort of like, it's a nostalgia that it's nice, but it's not
It
worth the
it doesn't work.
trade-off.
It would be weird trying to bring that back now. Like if like imagine
It would have to
being-
be like a fundraiser for a church or something.
like imagine being the one person that was like, hey, let's bring back the sit down stand up thing when women join the
No,
table.
see,
that would be cringy as fuck.
It's not. Yeah, no, it'd be awful. Don't bring that up to anyone else.
yeah, that'd be
No.
really. I was thinking.
Don't say this on your podcast.
Oh, I will.
Oops.
Yeah, totally will. Thinking about the guy that would just be the one that would be like, let's bring that back, and everybody's like, dude, that's really weird, man. It's 2018,
Yeah.
but like it totally fit in.
I could see why that seems nice. It's just I'm too dialed into what that's from.
Oh, yeah.
What it's
like,
connected to.
In all seriousness, I wouldn't want to bring
Like
that
an
back.
aliens at the table, stand up.
It's really weird. It's really
yeah,
weird.
yeah.
But like at the time, you're just like,
Well,
this
there's
is
things.
weird. Yeah.
There are things that I don't mind holding on to, and I think I kind of like I'm very polite.
Yeah.
But I don't think if a person's not polite, they're dead to me.
Yeah.
I like that it's an option.
I don't know, because on the way over here, I was getting gas and I was walking out of the gas station and a guy just didn't hold the door for me and it like slammed in my face.
I don't like
and
that.
like for a split second, I wanted to slit his throat. For like a split second, I wanted to pull out like a knife that I don't have and like just run it across his neck. For like, but I understand the like,
Well, it's
most
the
of it is
sense
most
of
time.
like it doesn't make me like you more.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I acknowledge that it is not your job.
Yeah, right.
Let's put it that way. But we're not going to be friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like
the idea of like assuming the best of the person behind you.
Yeah, that's
like,
a good
I'd
general
like
rule
to like
tool.
give you, if I'm not carrying too much, I'll pop the door open for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's a good general rule to just assume the best of everybody.
Yeah.
Huh? Just
Until
to
you got the data to prove otherwise.
Yeah.
And then you're totally in the right space to be like, no,
Nah.
you are not worth.
Turns out you killed 5 people.
Or you're
Gonna go
just,
Or you're just an asshole.
or you're just an asshole.
You're an asshole. So let's talk about the Seagull for a little bit.
Oh, good.
Let's start. We've ventured into William Shatner,
Not to be confused with William Shakespeare.
H.E.B. wine samples. Let's get around to the Seagull now. This is running through the 25th
Sure.
at the long. Sure.
I just keep showing up until they
Do
tell
I
me
know-
to go.
do I know more
No,
of the
you
dates
do.
that are-
No.
that's funny.
It's through the 25th.
So the
Whatever this
25th
last Sunday in February is.
This is the 25th.
Yeah.
The end of February sneaks up on you.
It does.
Rent sneaks up on you.
The end of
Yeah.
everything sneaks up on you. I hate to break it to you.
It really does. Ooh, deep on many levels. So, and this is at the Long Center.
This is at the Long Center in the Rollins Theater.
Okay.
It's the black box.
Now, is this
downstairs.
going to be? No, this is a Shakespeare play.
It
correct?
is not.
It is not a
It's
Shakespeare
written
play.
by Anton Chekhov.
So this is a Chekhov play.
It is a Chekhov play. Has nothing to do with William Shatner or Star Trek.
I'm
Not
so-
that Chekhov.
I was like, okay, it didn't sound right to me. I think I saw somewhere on the page.
well, you
then when I
clearly
was
knew it was Russian because you talked to me before we were on
Right.
about it being Russian.
I don't know why. I feel like when I was reading about the play a few days
It's
ago.
because it's Austin Shakespeare doing. That's
there
the
we go.
company.
I saw that, and so as I was like, "This is Shakespeare," I was like, "Wait, no, it's not," because it's called the Seagull.
Yeah, no.
Shakespeare didn't call anything the Seagull.
No, he didn't.
But a lot of times you see works that are based on Shakespeare. Like a lot of movies are based on
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shakespeare. Like a lot of movie premises.
A lot
are
of
based on
things you don't
Shakespeare.
even think of. The Forbidden Planet. You know, the
Okay.
sci-fi movie from the 50s, Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a riff on The Tempest.
Yeah,
Like stuff like that. Where you're
Yeah.
like Strange Brew,
yeah.
which
It's-
is a comedy with Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas.
right,
And it's a Hamlet riff.
right. It's all like a lot of
Lion
stuff
King.
is based
Yeah.
off of Shakespeare. I feel like if you get a good grip on Shakespeare, a lot of art will make sense to you, and as far as like movies and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, and a
Plays.
lot of them, when I say it's a riff, I mean, there's a huge departure from the source material.
Right,
They're
so
not
they-
really telling the story.
They're like,
But I
loosely
mean,
based.
really, a lot of Shakespeare stuff, I think, possibly, am I saying something stupid? I mean, his stuff was stuff that was a riff on something else. It's just his riff was so much better and so much more all-encompassing that,
Right.
that we don't remember the source material, we remember him.
Right.
So,
Okay. So
Anyway.
so Chekhov.
Chekhov, poor guy.
How old is the Seagull? How old is that?
It was, I think, 1880,
Holy
maybe.
shit.
That's
Okay.
when it came out.
Now is this something where you do you dress in the period of that time?
We're doing it. Yeah,
When
we're
does
doing
when
it
does
in
it
the
take
period.
place?
Ours is taking place in the late 19th century.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty dead on, I think.
Okay.
But I've seen productions where they'll just do it in, modern dress or something.
More tedious to do it with dress from that period, I guess.
No.
No?
Good.
It's good.
stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun. You enjoy it more.
It's heightened. It's not super. I don't want to turn people off by saying it's heightened language. It's the dialogue is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's somewhat lyrical sometimes. It's also very
absolutely.
sarcastic and very funny.
Yeah.
The actors get a little help from being in costume. I also think people are a
Definitely.
little bit more open to entering into the spirit of the piece if
Oh,
it doesn't
sure.
look like their neighbors.
Yeah. I like that. I appreciate that.
I mean,
But
I'm sure there's some wonderful productions that are modern dress, but I just feel like for me, it's a big help to have the.
I don't need everything to look like me. I don't want it to.
Yeah, I don't
you know?
either.
It's just immerse me in some place that's not here. You know.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially with theater.
And I also think there are some references that are just too odd.
Really.
Well, I mean, just like they have. Well, maybe I shouldn't bring that. I'm trying to make people come see it.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be like making it sound like it's on Mars or something.
Yeah, they're gonna come see it because I'm gonna tell them to come see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it is
I'm coming
it
to
is
their door.
genuinely I think this production is because it's one of these so Chekhov, this is considered a comedy.
Right.
And I've seen it many, many times since I was young.
Okay.
And I've always thought, really? That's an odd sense of humor.
Yeah.
This is not funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really depressing,
yeah.
actually.
It's Russian as fuck.
Yeah. I was like, maybe I have to be Russian to think this is funny. But it actually, then we had our first read through and it was funny.
Yeah.
It was like really funny.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
it's not all really funny. Some of it's the way I say it, it's like, it's kind of like a ha ha ouch.
The story of Russia. Ha ha. Ouch. Just.
Which is just, I
I love
that.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Yeah.
You're laughing and also worried that people are going to end up in an oven or something.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, my
some
dog's
of them
sneezing.
do. Old Charlie. Charlie's a guest host or a guest on our
Oh,
podcast.
Charles.
It's the cutest dog on the face of the earth. Just
Yay.
absolutely.
He's an Ewok.
He really is.
He is, isn't
He's
he?
literally an Ewok.
Yeah.
So, and you play. So, what's the character you play?
I'm playing Masha,
Okay.
who is a woman who always dresses in black and is sort of passionately unhappy.
Okay.
Like she, I don't want to say she enjoys being unhappy because she doesn't. But it's basically a lot of it is a lot of people loving the wrong people. This is
yeah.
a cornerstone of a lot of Chekhovian drama
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like
definitely.
everybody loves the wrong person.
Oh, yeah,
But
okay.
she is sort of a person who sort of wears her misery as a badge.
Place
She
to
also has substance abuse issues.
Loving the wrong person is a very good place to find misery.
It is, isn't
really
it? It's
is.
consistent.
It really is.
It's really great.
Yeah.
And it really sucks. And that's kind of in
Yeah.
there too. Like she really enjoys loving this person.
Yeah.
And she really is heartbroken
Bit of a
because
masochist.
he doesn't know that she exists.
Yeah.
And then of course somebody loves her
Sure.
that she doesn't love.
Right.
And on and on.
Right. Do you find, because for example, I find that dark songs and writing dark songs and doing that thing where it's like you're participating in a dark song that's about something very dark is cathartic in a way where you're just like you're able to put all of that there. Do you put a lot of your own darkness into something like that? How does that work?
It's funny. I don't think I'm a very dark person anymore.
I should say relatively dark. Like whatever is dark for you. Like whatever you think
I
is.
think I put a lot of my euphoria in.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And I actually have played, it's funny because one of the reasons I didn't ask to play it because I had to read for it, but I said to the director, I said, I'm interested in playing Masha.
Okay.
And the reason I was interested, partially because I'm too young, I'm way too old I'm too old to play Masha, but nobody cares if you're the ugly girl. But it's only the pretty girl has to be right on target.
Right.
But I wanted to play her because I didn't connect with her at all.
Really?
Yeah.
So you wanted the challenge?
I did.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I mostly have played heroes and heroines.
Okay.
I say heroes and heroines because I played guys too.
Yeah.
But I actually am more attracted and have a history of being more attracted to the good guy, which is
Yeah.
not, most people don't. Most people want to play
Yeah.
the bad guy.
Yeah.
In fact, I played Lady Macbeth last year. And I've always been a Shakespeare nerd since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And people are always saying, "Oh, you're finally getting to play Lady Macbeth." And I thought, I forgot. I forgot to want this part. I never thought about. She never was on my radar. I felt like
Yeah.
I didn't say that because other actresses want to punch you in the face when you say
Right,
that.
right.
But and it was great. It was a great experience. But I never sort of coveted the dark roles. It was more
Really?
except Hamlet. I guess I played Hamlet twice.
Really?
Yeah, and that I find him very heroic as well.
So it was it's never really about like harvesting any of your personal things
it's
into
harvesting,
to a role or
like an existential giddiness, like a total massive insane love of the fact that I was born.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that comes out.
Yeah.
And it can also be, and it can be funneled into looking dark or light, I guess, to wherever the character takes you.
You gotta embrace it all.
Yeah.
You really do.
I love it.
That's the coolest thing about acting, I think, is you get to tell the story of anybody. And I was listening to James Franco talk about the disaster artist.
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking about, he was on Mark Maron's podcast. Are you familiar with Mark Maron at all?
I do like Mark.
And oh man, he's so my idol.
He's great.
He was talking about I can't remember for the life of me his name, the guy that did The Room, that they made the disaster artist about. But he was describing the character in the same way, where it's just like he was just, and the idea behind it was the same, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The idea of it was just there's a lot of parallels between how you just explained that and how he was describing a character that's like a lot of people would see as typically dark or something like that. But he was just like, no, look at it this way, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's fucking right. So there's something extraordinary about plays about movies.
I'm so sorry. He makes a
There's something extraordinary about plays and movies that creates empathy in the most amount of people that I've ever seen. Does that make sense? Because you get to tell the story of so many people all the time, and you get to basically just look at somebody through their eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I don't. Of course, I recently said, I think we were on when I said I don't go see movies very much.
Yeah.
I do think when I see a movie, it feels like people always say, oh, you see movies for escape. And I'm like, no, just the opposite.
Right.
It actually, I feel like more dug into my existence.
Definitely.
But really, that times 100 with theater.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit because it, like life, is ephemeral. Like you have the moment with the audience, and when you've all passed through it together, then it's gone.
Yeah.
So you kind of have it all together, but you have it in memory.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit more of a tighter mirror to actual existence.
Yeah.
And but I love that. I mean, I've done a lot of plays where you directly address the audience, and that's the best.
Yeah.
Like Shakespeare, there's a lot of direct address.
You break the fourth wall.
Yeah, and then I did Emily Dickinson. I did Belle of Amherst, which is a one-woman show, and the whole thing is to the audience.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's one of they're like the best memories of my life. I feel bad saying that. I've had a lot of good memories like off the stage, but I've heard some people talk about having adversarial relationships with audiences, and it's so alien to me.
That's weird. I don't understand that
Because to me,
at all.
it's like I feel, I just feel this sense of like being in a lifeboat with them.
Yeah. It's absolutely a synergy.
Yeah.
That is a circuit. Like if you're especially with music too, and on a good night, if it's a good show and everybody's involved, man, that's a party.
It's so great.
It's great. As performers, we need that audience.
Yeah.
As much or more than they need us for that moment in time. You know, it's a thing.
And it's funny because I'm there for very selfish reasons. I'm there, but it's like selfish in the way like a date is selfish. Like you don't go on a date as a favor to the other person.
Yeah.
You go on it because you're hoping for something.
Yeah.
But you want that other person. It's only good if the other person is having
like
the same experience too. So it's joyful, mutual, selfish love.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing.
It's great.
You just do it because of that moment too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a very like in the moment deal. Mm-hmm. Do you get when a play ends that night, like when you walk off stage, do you get like an adrenaline thing? Is it an adrenaline thing for you? I
guess I never can go to sleep afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is for me. It's like a buzz. It's crazy.
Totally,
it's addicting.
And I mean, we always at Austin Shakespeare, I know some actors don't like this, but after every single Austin Shakespeare show, they have a talk back.
Yeah.
Where you come out and the audience talks to you.
Really? And
I understand why some people don't like that. I freaking love it.
Yeah, totally.
Because I feel like I've been having a conversation with these people all evening and they have not been able to speak. And Oh, it's so joyful.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit helpful because I have that buzz.
Yeah.
And they have that buzz. It's a buzz we've had together. It's the afterglow.
It's a communal buzz.
So it's nice to have the come down with them.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm going to have to come out and see the show.
Yay, do.
It's
It's really, really, I cannot stress enough. There are so many good performances in it.
Yeah.
And it's a good machine that moves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's good. We'll move too. We'll move along. So hopefully,
Okay.
hopefully we'll all move together. You won't move out of the room, somewhere else. Okay, please move.
I bet there's a pace.
Move the machine with.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, Helen, thank you so much for doing it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely.
With a love like our love, I don't need nobody else. I could try to help you, but honey, I can't help myself. In the middle of the week, I can feel your body moving on. Wait a minute, let me speak. Tell me that you love me, but your heart's as good as gone. Honey, if you're leaving, you don't have to tell me why. If men don't get a reason when his dreams have gone and died, if you're leaving on the Greyhound, take a minute, think about your past, all the people that you let down. Tell me that you love me, but it wasn't made to last. So ask me about the time that we met. You were passed out on my front lawn. Try to talk to you and ask you where you're from, and baby, what's going on. I thought I knew, but I'm wrong. Who would have known that, baby, all along your heart was as good as gone? And if my heartache leads me down the road of shame, could I believe you'd still call my name? God and gold, I believe in all that stuff, but darling, you never haunted me enough.
Attention Black Mesa researchers. This has been a presentation of the No Plans Podcast.
Because tomorrow the sun will rise. Who knows what the tide could bring?